Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is yaBelly and today we're going to be making some enchiladas, which are my all-time favorite food. It's definitely a dish that I always bug my mom or my grandma to make me when I go back home. It is a dish that 95% of the time I hate when I order out, and I always want them and I always try them, but they never turn out just how I really like them, the way mom and grandma make them. So today, using my mom's recipe, we're going to make everything from scratch. So if you're uncomfortable with making the sauce from scratch, or you don't have a blender or something like that, there are definitely enchilada sauces that you can buy already made at either Safeway, Vaughn's, Bailey's, your local Mexican market. There's plenty. This is a red enchilada sauce, so it's not the green one, although I can make the green one day, or I can just make the green sauce, and then you can just switch out the sauce and use this video. There is one modification. When I went to my Mexican store, which is Cárdenas here, they did not have chile anchos, which is what my mom uses in her recipe. Yours might be different if you have a family recipe, or if you really want that type of chile, then you can wait until you find it. But since they didn't have chile ancho, I went ahead and I grabbed a New Mexico chile, which is, I guess, the next best thing. I think it's all about tradition in your family and where you are from. So even though I'm using specific chiles in my recipe, it doesn't mean that everybody else from Mexico who makes enchiladas makes it the same. So I'm really excited. I haven't made them for myself in quite a while. They are a long process and they're really involved, so I recommend making extra so that you have leftovers, and then you can enjoy some really delicious food for the rest of your week. You know me, I'm all about planning. I'm always on the go with school and work, so I love making food and having leftovers, because that means it's less work for me throughout the week and a lot tastier food, because then I don't have to spend a bunch of time at the end of the day when I'm already tired having to prepare these. These are vegetarian, so if you don't want the filling that I make, which is going to be potatoes with cheese and onion, then you can go ahead and shred your favorite type of food. So you can shred you can go ahead and shred your favorite type of meat, and that can be shredded chicken breast, it can be shredded beef, pork if you like it, but it's really up to you. You can shred whatever type of meat that you think you will like in this recipe and replace it for that. But I think that is all that I have to say about enchiladas. They're my number one favorite food, and I'm really excited. So without further ado, let's get started. So I actually skipped the filming of this part because it's not entertaining at all, but I just de-seeded all of my chiles. I put them in about a cup of water to boil along with the garlic, and then whatever remaining water I had, I used that to blend with my chiles and my garlic once they cooled down, and I poured it into a large bowl. And the tomatoes too, don't forget those. So next up, I just want to make sure that my filling is ready to go for when I am filling my tortillas, because that is the most fast-paced part of making enchiladas. So I'm just throwing in the cotija cheese, the onions, the potatoes that are already cooked, and black pepper, and I'm just mixing those evenly so that our enchiladas have a nice even distribution of flavors. Next up is probably the scarier part of making the enchiladas, which is dipping them in the hot oil. So we're going to start off by heating up a 1/3 cup of oil. I promise you won't
consume all of that. It's just so that you have enough to where when you dip your tortilla, it goes under the oil, because otherwise you'll have a really dry tortilla and it won't taste very good. And you just want to be careful when you dip your tortilla into the oil. Just let it fall slowly, don't just drop it in, otherwise you will splash yourself with oil and that will probably hurt. So as you can see, I am just grabbing a tortilla, I am covering both sides of it with the red sauce, and then I'm just slowly dipping the tortilla into the pan. I make sure I test the pan by dropping a little drop of sauce in the oil to make sure that it's hot enough to drop in my tortillas. And as I'm doing that, I'm just watching my tortilla. As it bubbles more and more, it starts to cook the tortilla more and more. And once the tortilla has been dipped in for like 15 to 20 seconds, I just take it out. I let the excess oil drip off of it, and I flatten them onto a cookie sheet with some foil on there, and I just let them sit. And I just repeat this over and over until I have a rhythm. And once my flattened tortillas start taking up space, I start filling them and rolling them, and then I'll drop one, lay it flat, fill it and roll it, and I'll just alternate between filling and rolling and dipping and frying, as you can see in this video. So I hope that you can see the little one-person assembly line that I'm doing here. It's not as daunting as it looks, it just takes a little bit of a rhythm to get into. But the more that you practice it, the better you'll get at it. Did any of that make sense? Or did I just confuse you more? I hope it did, otherwise I can always clarify if you leave a question down in the comments. But I really hope that you do try this, because it's honestly not as hard as it looks. So now we're getting way closer to eating, which makes me so happy. So I'm just gonna do the toppings, which is the last part of making your enchiladas. So I had some leftover filling, which I'm adding right on top of the enchiladas. And then I'm adding the toppings that my mom typically does, which is a bed of shredded lettuce. Then she will add some sliced onion. She'll do sliced tomatoes, some more of the cotija or whatever cheese she happens to use on top with a little bit of sour cream, some jalapeños, you don't have to if you don't like spicy food, and some sliced avocados. I sadly didn't have any that day, so I didn't get to enjoy mine with avocados, but if you have them in handy, it's definitely a must. Ooh, another topping that I forgot to mention, last but not least, would be salsa. So if you don't have any salsa on hand, you can always use some of your leftover red sauce from the enchiladas that you made. And it's actually super good because it's not overbearingly spicy if you don't like that. And if you do want spicy, you always have the jalapeños, but it just adds like a perfect little bow of flavors on top. So here I'm just making them look pretty. I'm showing you my presentation. Typically what my mom makes looks way prettier without even trying. But I also will insert a picture that I take with my better camera, and I really hope that you enjoy these. I'm actually craving these right now as I'm rewatching this video, so I think I'm inspired to make them again.
Alright guys, that is it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed making them along with me. They are very involved. They are really delicious, so that basically cancels out all the hard work that you have to put into them. I really hope that you try them because they're totally manageable, and you will be surprised at how much better your own enchiladas will taste than the ones that you order in restaurants, because sometimes I order them because I'm craving them and I feel totally scammed because I'm pretty sure that at least 60 to 70% of restaurants use canned sauce, and it's just pointless. And I never learned my lesson, but I hope that you learn from my mistakes and just make them at home to begin with. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe down below. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye!